The room is quiet in a way that feels dangerous. Stage lights hang overhead, frozen mid-warm glow. A microphone stand trembles slightly as a backup singer misses the note again. Just off to the side, Prince Rogers Nelson turns his head. Not fast, not dramatic, just enough. The band freezes because they recognize that look. This is the moment where something can break or become legend. The object holding the tension is small and ordinary, a handheld microphone, warm from breath, heavy with expectation. One wrong move here, and the performance collapses. One right move, and the night changes forever. This is not a stadium roar yet. It's a rehearsal room according to accounts, or a smaller live setup before the cameras roll. The kind of space Prince often preferred, where mistakes had nowhere to hide. The backup singer stands a step behind him, voice wavering, struggling to land a harmony that should lock in clean. The stakes are simple but brutal. Humiliation, replacement, being quietly erased from the set list. Prince doesn't stop the song. He doesn't wave anyone off. He listens. That alone is power. Days earlier, the rules were already set. Prince's band was not a democracy. Musicians who worked with him have said rehearsals could stretch for hours, sometimes overnight, until every note was right. The songs, whether unreleased jams or already known tracks, were treated like living things. Miss a cue and you felt it. Not with yelling, with silence. The microphone was not just equipment, it was a test. If you held it, you were exposed. This was the era when Prince controlled almost everything around him. The arrangements, the pacing, the stage layout, even the lighting cues. Industry pressure was constant. Labels wanted hits. Tours needed to run tight. Backup singers were expected to blend, not stand out, and definitely not struggle. One weak vocal could throw off the entire mix. In a system like that, there is no margin for nerves. The room decides if you belong. The backup singer, unnamed in most retellings, often referred to simply as one of the singers, had reportedly been solid before. Not a rookie, not someone pulled in off the street. But this song was different. The harmony sat in an uncomfortable place, hovering between chest and head voice. The kind of line that sounds easy until the spotlight hits. Each time the band looped the section, the note slipped. Not badly, just enough to be noticed by the one person whose attention mattered most. Prince stood at center stage, guitar strapped high, body still. He didn't correct the singer immediately. That was unusual. According to musicians who worked with him, Prince often stopped songs cold when something was off. A raised hand, a sharp look. Sometimes just a clipped no. But here the music kept going. The drum machine clicked. The bass stayed locked. The microphone carried the strain into the room. What made it worse was the presence of others. Band members, possibly engineers, maybe a tour manager lingering near the back. Every repetition sharpened the tension. The backup singer's eyes flicked forward, then down. The microphone cable coiled at their feet like a reminder. You're on the line. Earlier that week, Prince had reportedly reworked parts of the song. Changed keys, adjusted harmonies. He was known for doing this without warning, sometimes minutes before a performance. The power dynamic was clear. Adapt or fall behind. Backup singers didn't argue. They adjusted, or they disappeared from the lineup without explanation. The rehearsal paused briefly, not because Prince stopped it, but because the singer's voice cracked on the sustain. A fraction of a second. Enough. The keyboard faded. The room held its breath. Someone shifted their weight. This was usually the point where consequences arrived. Instead, Prince stepped closer to the microphone stand. Not the singer's, his own. He didn't speak yet. He looked at the backup singer, then at the band. A small gesture, but loaded. This wasn't about one missed note anymore. It was about control versus trust. About whether this space was a trap or a workshop. According to some insiders, this was where Prince made up his mind. He could cut the part, lower the harmony, signal for someone else to take it. That would have been efficient, safe, no risk. But Prince had never built his legacy on safe choices. The microphone was still live. The room was still watching. He raised his hand slightly. not to stop the music, to change its direction. The next run-through begins almost immediately. Same room, same lights, same microphone, but the energy has shifted. Prince doesn't return to his original spot. He stays closer to the backup singer, close enough that the gesture can't be missed. The band watches his hands more than their charts. When Prince moves, the song moves with him. That's the rule everyone has learned. At rehearsal earlier that morning, according to accounts, Prince had already been unusually patient. He'd let sections repeat, let mistakes sit in the air. That alone sent a message. He wasn't hunting for perfection by force. He was listening for something else. The backup singer adjusts their grip on the microphone, knuckles white. The harmony line approaches again, the same treacherous interval. The stakes haven't lowered. If anything, they're higher now because Prince is paying attention openly. "Sing it again," Prince reportedly says. Not loud, not sharp, just clear. The room stills. That line, "Sing it again," isn't encouragement or punishment. It's a test. The backup singer nods slightly. The drummer clicks in. The chord progression cycles back. This is escalation disguised as calm. As the music builds, Prince subtly alters his phrasing. He leans into a different rhythm, opening space where there was none before. Musicians later describe this as one of his quiet tricks. Change the feel so the singer can land differently. The microphone becomes less of a spotlight and more of a guide. The harmony comes in. It wobbles. But this time, Prince doesn't flinch. At another rehearsal on another day, this might have ended differently. Prince was known to replace musicians mid-tour. According to band members, he demanded total commitment. Not just technical skill, but nerve. The industry around him reinforced that pressure. Backup singers were rarely named in reviews. They were interchangeable in the eyes of labels. One weak performance could erase months of work. But here, Prince does something unexpected. He steps into the harmony himself. It's not a takeover. It's a bridge. He shifts closer to the backup singer's microphone, tilting his head so their voices blend. The gesture is subtle but electric. The message is unmistakable. You're not alone in this note anymore. The band reacts instantly. The keyboard thickens the chord. The bass locks in harder. This isn't rescue out of pity. It's collaboration under fire. The next pass is better. Not perfect, but alive. The harmony lands closer to center. The backup singer's shoulders drop slightly, breath stabilizing. Prince pulls back just enough to let the voice stand on its own again. This push and release is deliberate. He's teaching without lecturing, leading without humiliating. Someone in the room exhales audibly. Another musician later said this was when they realized Prince wasn't just fixing a mistake. He was shaping a moment. The microphone, once a threat, becomes an invitation. The danger shifts from failure to possibility. "Again," Prince says, reportedly smiling this time. The word "again" keeps returning like a drum hit. Each repetition tightens the focus. The harmony finally locks, clean, confident. The room reacts before anyone can stop themselves. A numbed, a quiet laugh. The tension breaks just enough to let the music breathe. But Prince doesn't stop there. He changes the arrangement slightly, raising the harmony line in the mix. This is crucial. By doing that, he increases the risk again. If the backup singer fails now, it will be obvious. This isn't protection, it's elevation. The stakes are recalibrated. Rise to it or be exposed. This approach reflects something deeper about Prince's control. He didn't dominate by silencing others. He dominated by deciding when to amplify them. The system around him, labels, tours, television appearances, often reduce supporting musicians to background noise. Prince could have followed that logic. Instead, in this room, at this microphone, he chose to spotlight the struggle. The final rehearsal run before the performance arrives. The song starts from the top. Prince signals the band with a quick glance. The backup singer takes position, microphone steady now. No shaking, no hesitation. The harmony approaches. The note that caused all the trouble waits ahead like a checkpoint. Prince doesn't look at the singer this time. He looks forward. That, too, is a signal. You've got this. The harmony hits. It holds. It rings. The room responds instantly. Not applause. Respect, the kind that doesn't need noise. Prince lets the song finish. He doesn't comment. He just moves on to the next track, as if this wasn't a turning point. But everyone in the room knows it was. What's coming next isn't rehearsal anymore. It's public. Cameras, audience, pressure multiplied. The microphone will be live in a way it hasn't been yet, and whatever Prince chooses to do in that moment will be seen, not just heard. The stage lights are about to come up for real. When the performance arrives, the microphone feels heavier. This time, there is no rehearsal safety net. The stage lights are hot, the monitors humming. Prince stands at center, guitar angled just right, body relaxed in a way that suggests total control. The backup singer takes position behind him, the same microphone now connected to a much larger system. Amplifiers, audience, memory. One mistake here won't vanish into a rehearsal room. It will live. The song begins. The opening bars are familiar, steady. Prince's voice glides in, precise and effortless. The backup singer waits, counting silently, fingers brushing the mic stand. This is the exact moment everyone remembers when they talk about this story. The harmony line approaches, the same one that caused the struggle days earlier. The same note, same risk. As the moment hits, Prince does not step forward this time. He doesn't lean into the microphone. He does something quieter and somehow bigger. He pulls back. He gestures with his hand, small, almost invisible to the audience, but clear to the band and the singer. It's not a command to stop, it's permission. The backup singer takes the harmony alone. The microphone carries it clean and strong across the room. No wavering, no crack. The note lands exactly where it should. The audience reacts before they understand why. There's a shift in the room, a lift, a subtle surge of energy. Harmonies are felt more than analyzed, and this one hits. Prince smiles briefly, still playing, still moving forward. He lets the harmony ride. He does not reclaim it. That decision is the moment. This is the classic part people talk about. Not because of a dramatic speech or a flashy solo, but because of restraint. Prince, known for dominating every inch of sound, chooses absence as his statement. The microphone, once a symbol of pressure, becomes proof of trust. In that instant, a backup singer stops being background. The song finishes to strong applause. Nothing stops. No announcement is made. But something has changed. According to musicians who witnessed it, Prince nods once as the band transitions to the next number. The backup singer exhales a full breath this time. The system has acknowledged them. The aftermath unfolds quietly. The next morning, the arrangement remains unchanged. The harmony stays prominent in the mix. No one is swapped out. No part is simplified. That alone confirms what happens on stage wasn't a fluke. It was a decision. Prince chose to lock that voice into the identity of the song. In later performances, the moment becomes consistent. Audiences come to expect that harmony, even if they don't know who is singing it. That's how legacies are built, not always through names, but through sound. Prince's control of his music extends to knowing when to step back. The industry often frames genius as domination. This moment argues something else. Genius as calibration. Some insiders later describe this as a lesson Prince repeated in different forms. He would push musicians to the edge, then give them just enough space to surprise themselves. Not kindness for its own sake, not cruelty either. Precision. The microphone was the tool, but the real object was confidence. Transferred, not granted. It's important to be clear about what this moment was not. It wasn't charity. Prince did not lower the bar. He raised it, then trusted someone else to clear it. That distinction matters. In an industry where backup singers, often women, often black, were easily replaceable, this choice carried weight. Visibility, even fleeting, changes how a system behaves. Years later, the story circulates online, retold in fragments. Prince heard a backup singer struggling. He stepped in. He created a classic moment. Details blur. Exact dates are debated, but the core stays intact because it's anchored to something real. A microphone, a harmony, a decision made in front of witnesses. This is what the story ultimately reveals. Prince's power didn't just come from talent or control. It came from knowing when to intervene and when to disappear. In that balance, he turned a near failure into something lasting. The backup singer didn't just survive the moment. They were folded into the song's history. And that's the brutal truth of it. The system expects silence from the background. Prince, in that moment, demanded presence and then got out of the way.